Meteorologist Adam Kruger here with Weather on the Lawn. We're talking about humidity and why it feels hotter when it's humid. And before I answer that question, I'm going to show you the impact humidity can have in our area using an example from just earlier this week on Tuesday when we had dry air off towards our west, very humid air in place around Austin and San Antonio. The division between those two air masses, a dry line. That's that black dashed line I've got drawn on right there. So with humid air in place, we had temperatures in San Antonio and Austin in the 90s, but it felt like 107 to 111. Then in just an hour, that dry line came through. Look at the difference in the numbers. The temperatures actually went up a few degrees in San Antonio and Austin, but it felt 10 to 15 degrees cooler. How can it feel so different when it's dry and when it's humid? The simple answer is evaporation. So when you're outside and it's hot, your body is sweating. And when you have moisture and sweat on your skin, and it evaporates, you feel cooler. That's because evaporation is a cooling process. Now, when the air is dry, that sweat can evaporate pretty easily. When the air is really humid, that sweat just sits on your skin and it evaporates much slower, and therefore it feels hotter to you. So this feels like temperature or heat index temperature we talk about. What is that? Where does it come from? Well, we're not just making up a number. There's actually a pretty complicated equation to figure out what that number is. Here's what it looks like. If you ever want to have some fun, go ahead and calculate it yourself. Luckily, though, you can just look it up online and see what the heat index is anytime you want. Now, lately, we've been enjoying a nice break in the humidity, but things are changing back to more seasonable humidity around here as we get into this weekend. That's because of our typical summer setup. Of course, we have the Gulf of Mexico just off towards our southeast, and in the summertime, the prevailing wind is from the south-southeast, which means that Gulf moisture is constantly streaming into our area and pretty much will do so more or less all summer long.